I came to Duke actually as an undergrad, and one of the amazing things I did as an undergrad was go to Madagascar. It is because of the presence of this institution, the Duke Lemur Center. This is a really special place because it is the only facility of its kind around the world dedicated to the research and conservation of lemur species. One of the things that we have at Duke are these open enclosures actually during the spring and the summer and the early fall where you can study lemurs in naturalistic habitats. Having an opportunity like that for an undergrad was incredible. And it started because I took a class on primate conservation taught by a woman named Pat Wright, who became a MacArthur Genius Award winner literally the year after the class. And I was so taken by this idea that there could be this place that exists that was like no other, that was literally a laboratory for evolution and had these amazing things called lemurs. I wanted to see it for myself.
So when these guys are out in the woods?
Conservation started when I was probably 9 years old, and I got a book from National Geographic. I got a book called Extinction Alert, and it told me about the California condor, which was down to 17 individuals, all that remained of that incredible species. And I got so concerned that I said, I really want to spend the rest of my life figuring out how to stop extinction.
Believe it or not, I'm an optimist, and I think that much as we have created the problems, we have means to solve them. And this is not to say we replace everything we're doing in conservation, but we have sets of tools that are incredible. The challenges that we have are exponential, but so is the technology.
I was the chief scientist at USAID, and I set up what we call a DARPA for development, which is how do we actually use technology to solve the world's biggest problems. One of the things I realized was the fact that conservation had in some ways been left behind. 30 years after conservation was created as a field, 30 years after we actually coined the word biodiversity, we're failing. And I felt the need to come up with a new set of solutions for how we do it, and one that harnesses the private sector. So we set up this company called Conservation X Labs, whose goal is to help source, develop, and scale technologies that can improve and change the reality of what is possible for conservation. And they actually get at addressing the underlying drivers of extinction. And there was a recognition that conservation had tended to be technophobic, backwards looking, failed to use entrepreneurship. And in fact, in my tenure at USA, Duke offered me an opportunity to come on campus and serve as a fellow to help understand how do we actually harness entrepreneurship, how do we harness the resources across the entire university to solve these really wicked problems that we see in conservation and development. And that gave me an opportunity to incubate this company to take on some of these really important problems. I encourage every student, every alum, every faculty member to be an entrepreneur. And I think you can be an entrepreneur in a lot of different ways. You can be a traditional sort of entrepreneur, you can start up a new company. You can be an intrapreneur by bringing change within an organization, and you can be an extrapreneur by changing how other organizations do business. So there's a lot of different paths to how we achieve entrepreneurship.